You can't, just be your own broker. You do have to hang your license with a broker for 3 years. And so all of these brokerages across Columbia and across the state are constantly going to these real estate schools, and they're wanting to talk to new licensees to bring them on. But what I always tell people is when you're a new licensee, they are not interviewing you. You are interviewing them. This is where the tables have turned from the typical job and job search and career. So I interviewed one or two brokerages. It didn't really take me long to know where I wanted to be. And Keller Williams was the place that I found to be home.
It's interesting that you say that because, number one, you're absolutely right. Most people in a typical job search are being interviewed. And that's the mindset of a lot of people that are looking for another job is, all right, I got to sell myself. Where they often miss the mark is right exactly what you did is you can interview a company as much as they can interview you. And was there anything specific about Keller Williams that stood out and to know why that was such a good fit for you?
Number one was the transparency. The first day that I interviewed Keller Williams, they showed me basically the books. This is what your split will be. This is what the fees are. This is what you need to know. I found that other brokerages were more secretive for whatever reason. They didn't want to divulge very much information. And in my mind, if you're going to be in a partnership with somebody, openness is key. Mm-hmm. So that was a big part of it. But the other thing is, honestly, Franklin, they let me run my business. I do have to have the Keller Williams logo as a compliance factor, but I've never been told you need to sell more. You need to do this. You need to do that. I get to run my business the way that I see fit. And that's huge for me.
What's the hardest part about being in real estate, having your own real estate group?
It's honestly the time blocking. And so I tell people that, when you decide that you want to do real estate, time blocking is the biggest thing. And I struggle with it to this day. And what I mean by time blocking is saying, okay, Will, here's your calendar for the week. You need to sit down. And I typically try to do this on Sunday nights. On Monday, you have this, this, and this, and those are hard times. You can't move them. Where are you going to put your lead generation time? And so it's holding yourself to a schedule. And it's not just a work schedule, because what we believe here and what I hold myself to is, number one, it's about your family and your personal time. Mm-hmm. So if my little boy has a soccer game at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, guess what? That's blocked off first.
Yeah.
And if a client comes to me and says, hey, I really want to see this house Tuesday at 6:30, my response to them is, hey, I'm sorry, I already have an appointment that time. Now, they don't need to know it's with my kid. I don't care if they do, but an appointment's an appointment. And so time blocking is crucial. It is the biggest thing. It is the hardest thing. It's something that we work on all the time.
Do you use any kind of software to block your calendar, or is it just going straight into Outlook and putting a block? This is what I'm doing.
I live in my Google suite. That's where I live. And between that and Calendly, I do have open times in which people can set appointments with me, and they do so through my calendar link.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Calendly?
I will tell you that I was with another calendar program. And yesterday I started getting into Calendly, and it blew my mind. Like even just the first 5-10 minutes of it, I was like, I've been looking for this. Where has this been?
Yep.
And it's there. And so I love it.
When I first started Post Up, I knew I wanted to automate scheduling and try to make that. I hate back and forth. I just hate trying to find times on people's schedules. And so the company I was working at the time had been piloting Calendly. It wasn't working for them the way they were doing it, but I knew it could work for me. And I signed up for it, and the launch got delayed. And so I emailed them and I said, hey, I didn't get a chance to really play with this during the free trial. Can I extend it another 5 days? They're like, we'll give you another month. Don't worry about it. And to me, that was the ultimate example of great customer service for a great product, because I swear by it. It runs my schedule.
The back and forth is a great point, because I attempt to give back. And so people that are interested, and if you're even watching this right now and you think to yourself, I'd love to start in real estate, I give a lot of my time back to talking to people about how they get started. And so that back and forth that you talk about, I can send them the link. They can choose if they want a phone call or a Zoom call or a meet in person. It makes things so much easier.
So that's a great transition for anyone watching this that wants to get into real estate. What is your advice to them on getting into real estate?
Don't believe that this is just, number one, don't believe it's easy. Number two, don't believe that, hey, I can be my own boss and do whatever I want. That's correct to a certain degree. But in being your own boss, that means you have to supervise yourself. Think of it that way. I have to hold myself to a certain level of accountability and accomplishment. And there's some great stuff in that. And then there's some stuff that is really difficult, as we've talked about, such as the time blocking. You have to be willing to go at full speed when you get started.
Yeah.
You can do this for a short time in a part-time or dual career mode. But if you're going to do it at a high level, it has to be all in full time.
Yeah. I think that could be the case for any business, but for something that is zero base, 100% commission.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how do they find that Calendly link?
So the link is actually Calendly, is it .com? I'm still learning a little bit about this, and it's /WilliamKing1. But also, you can always call me. I mean, my number's not a secret. My number's 803-727-4454. I mean, I really can't keep my number a secret when it's on signs all over the place. So you can always reach out to me, call me, text me. I'm on social media, all of those places.
So last question. And you mentioned liking to listen to music, and I believe we have dated ourselves with talking about recording music with a cassette off the radio. If you had to pick one song to describe your work style, what would it be?
It's going to be a band I absolutely love, just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's Foo Fighters, and it's Best of You.
Nice.
Because I think on a daily basis, what I do and what my wife does, what we do here at the King Group, our big why is our family.
Yeah.
We do everything for those three little kids. And I have to ask myself on a regular basis, are they getting the best of me?
Yeah.
Are they getting the best version of me? And they have to be. And also in that song, you'll see there's a line that talks about, I won't give in. I won't refuse. I don't give up. I find a way to get things done. And so that's a big role about what I do here. I mean, it is getting the buyer and the seller to both lower emotions and know that we're going to get through it. We will find a way.
I remember going through the home buying process, however long it was, in 2006, maybe. And emotions super high, because that was the height of the market at the time. And that's the key. That to me is a key of a good real estate agent, to keep everyone level-headed.
Yeah, because as a lot of times we have a tendency to take things personally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not personal. It is simply two people or two couples wanting to get to a goal. And if we can get you to that goal together, we always strive for the win-win. We want everyone to come away feeling good about the process. And honestly, to make it as stress-free as possible.
Awesome. Will, I appreciate you joining me today, man.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
what do you think? What's your ultimate, not so much prediction of how the season's going to go, but what will Shane Beamer be remembered for at South Carolina?
I saw this question when you kind of gave me some prep. And so I'm willing to answer, I'm potentially willing to answer a win-loss. But we'll talk about that in a moment. What Shane Beamer is going to be remembered for at South Carolina is quite simple. It's for truly wanting to be here and wanting this job.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great tie into what you do and what I'm talking about today. Like, I don't ever, it's so cliche now, but I really don't feel like I go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love what I do. I get to meet people every day. I get to do something that I enjoy doing with my wife, and I have the flexibility to be there for my kids and go pick them up today at 2:00. Nice. You know, that's awesome. Shane Beamer is going to be known for truly wanting this job. This is his dream job. It really is. And so when you have somebody that loves what they do and loves where they're doing it, success is bound to happen.
Yep.
Now, as I look at the win-loss record, I know this is going to be seen as pie in the sky. It's going to be seen as the garnet-colored glasses. But I see a path to 7 wins. I do.
I think if we win 7, Shane should be the coach of the year nationally.
You know, there is a mental block in my head anytime, any year that I look at a South Carolina schedule. There is a mental block in my head when I see Kentucky. I cannot ever pick South Carolina to lose to Kentucky.
Even though 4 of the last 5 games we've lost to them?
Yeah, but the major factor in that is in Athens. So the major factor for those losses is currently the special teams coordinator in Athens.
I can't wait to see them put a tight end to return punts this year.
I'm wondering the longest field goal that Muschamp can convince Kirby to kick.
He convinced him to kick it in that overtime win that we had against them a couple years ago when he threw Blankenship out there for what was like a 56, 57-yarder. And then, of course, we proceeded to do the same thing. But anyway, well, thank you for joining us, man. I really enjoyed talking about this. Hopefully, we'll be on that path to 7 wins. And I think you're right about Shane. But thanks for sharing all the advice, the ups and downs of owning your own group. And look forward to talking to you again here soon.
Can't wait for it. Thank you, Franklin. Appreciate the time.